Thank you very much. I should introduce myself. I'm an archaeologist. My grasp of this sort of technology is limited, being an archaeologist and working 2,000 years ago, as it were, in terms of my archaeological interest. But what this talk is about testing various digital devices at a long-running excavation which takes place about 20 miles south of here at a place called Silchester on the Hampshire-Berkshire border. Silchester is an Iron Age and Roman town, and the excavation has a major academic objective. It's also a university training school for our students. VERA, Virtual Environments for Research in Archaeology, Silchester, the test bed. What we were concerned with, what this talk is about data capture in the field and how we can do that more efficiently, how we can access data to our database more efficiently to cut out, if we can, the need to employ resource after our excavation season during the winter to digitize material. So there are 4 themes to the talk: general introduction, what we've been experimenting in terms of data capture, and what we've learned from it. This is just to give you an idea of the project, the scale of it. There are 100 students in the trench which you're looking at just now at any one time, and there is a support staff in the cabins around the place. As I say, it's a research project first and foremost, but it also delivers training for our students and also for a great many international and other UK students. And it's now, for reasons of the complexity of the archaeology, it's turned out to be, I think, the longest running research project of its kind in the country, and it's got several years to go. What happens during the season, which is 8 weeks, it's a very short duration, and 6 of those 8 weeks is very intensive with students. These slides just give you some sense of the variety of activities of the recovery of physical evidence and the recording of the stratigraphy, the various layers of soil through which we excavate and which provide the context for the material culture, the pottery, the metalwork and so forth, which gives us the picture of the developing life of the town. The record has been, obviously, it grows year by year, it grows between seasons in different ways. The record is particularly concerned with the field record, that is what we take out of the site, as opposed to the information that derives from individual categories of finds. So this shot gives you an idea of where we've got to. All finds records, that is absolutely everything concerned with any kind of find, 34,000. A small find, it's a curious archaeological term to indicate finds which have a sort of special information value, which are individually accessed, as opposed to a collection of pottery sherds or animal bones, that kind of thing. The VERA project is a collaboration with Mark, with obviously the Department of Archaeology, with SLAES, with Claire and Melissa, and the York Archaeological Trust, and it's been funded by the JISC. So the project, the principal aims to develop tools to enhance the means of collecting, documenting, managing and archiving archaeological excavation data, and various people doing various activities down below. First of all, one of our main issues, main problems, is that although we're in the middle of southeast England, yet we're in a field that's remote, that's roughly midway between nuclear Aldermaston and nuclear Burfield, but somehow we needed to get ourselves organized in the first instance with a wireless network, which is linked between the site and a barn about half a kilometre distance away. And that's some of the infrastructure there. And we've experimented with wireless network across the trench with varying degrees of success. Limitations in particular are the presence of the scaffolding required to support the visitor platforms for the public that visit the site every day the project's running. I think what I'm going to major on here are the use of digital pens, which have proved, I think, to be a very effective way of capturing data, and have also led us in sort of new directions of managing the process of assimilating data and of quality assuring it. So in doing this project, certain things have emerged which have allowed us to address kind of more wide-ranging issues. So just a few shots showing the pens at work. Again, to give context, each season introduces, as I say, 100 people who have never excavated before, who've never engaged with the process of archaeology. So every season, in the 3 years that we've been working with this, we're dealing with essentially a new population each time. The only constants have been a certain proportion of the site staff who we hire in for the 8-week period. These are the people who manage the students in the trench, in the finds context. And the majority of those have a long history of engagement with Silchester. They work in the commercial sector of archaeology, and we buy them back for the summer season. And there are interesting aspects of that insofar as their willingness to engage with this particular technology. In using it and developing it in the trench, we weren't able, in the time that we had to set it up in 2007, able to seriously pursue pro forma notebooks. Instead, we had to set up a kind of a model and then just simply use digital notebooks with the pens. So in a formulaic way, which I think some of the students found difficult. They would have, I think, preferred the original paper context card, which you see in the background there. So, but continuing use brought familiarity, and overall, I think the technology worked, and there were few failures. That's just giving you an idea of what's involved in recording an archaeological layer, an archaeological context. And in addition to just ordinary text, these pens also allowed us to produce really quite useful, accurate sketch plans of the layers. So you see there one of these sketch plans, which are of just as good a quality as any done with a pencil or pen by hand in the traditional way. The way in which we manage the pens is interesting. To start with, it was, if you like, very centrally controlled. The research assistant for the project, Emma O'Riordan, kind of managed the whole thing. We didn't have very many to start with, graduating to almost 24 in our 2009 season. But in the 2009 season, we delegated to the individual supervisors responsibility for managing the pens, of keeping the students up to speed, and for them actually checking the record. So again, it's just slides showing the process from the handwritten, that's converted into the database transfer, and so producing these basic initial records, to which then one adds other data like digital images, the plan records. So that then represents a complete summary record with all the relationships of the layer in question to those around, so that you can then construct from this a hierarchical matrix